In this week's Seder of Ekev, Kadosh Baruch Hu is recounting to Yisrael via Moshe Rabbeinu all of the wondrous miracles performed on their behalf, beginning with the Mitzrayim, continuing all the way through the desert until the delivery to the entrance of the land of Israel. And one of the things that is mentioned is the Maisa of Korach, is a reference to the rebellion of Korach and all who took sides with him against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon the Kohen Gadol. And the pasuk states, "Va'asher asa l'dasan v'la'aviram b'nei Eliyav ben Reuven asher potas ha'aretz," that's Piha, regarding Dasan and Aviram, the sons of Eliyav, the son of Reuven, regarding whom, on whose behalf, as it were, there was the causation of the opening of the mouth, singular, of the land itself. Swallowing them up with their homes, with their tents, all of their wealth, all of their possessions, Bekerev Kol Yisrael, in the midst of the entirety of Israel. And Rashi cites a rather unusual Yaakov Shimoni, stating that wherever any member of that greater clan of rebellion fled to within the camp of Israel, Nivkas mitachtav ubalaso, the ground opened up and swallowed that individual in as a result of the rebellion. Elo divrei Rabbi Yehuda, this is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Nechemia turned to Rabbi Yehuda, says the Yaakov Shimoni, and says, but wait a minute. The pasuk already says, "Vatiftach ha'aretz es piha." The land opened up its mouth, singular, velo piyoseh, not mouths. So how could it be that wherever a member of the greater entourage that Korach had assembled had fled to, there, in that place, the mouth would open up, swallowing the individual into the land? There's one mouth, not many mouths. Amar lo, so Rabbi Yehuda turned to him and said, but the pasuk says that all of them were swallowed bekerev kol Yisrael, within the midst of all of Israel. And if it's within the midst of all this of Israel, that's more than one place, more than one mouth. So I must be correct. Responded Rabbi Nechemia, no, one mouth, one place, witness the opening of the earth itself, swallowing everyone in. Aye, but there were people who fled to their respective homes or elsewhere, far within the camp. Shenase sa'aretz madron, said Rabbi Nechemia, the land became effectively a madron, a slanted area, kemashpech. V'chol mokom shehayechad mehem, and any and every place that a person who was part of the rebellion was to be found, while it was like a slide into the greater portion of that singular whole. The person would roll and slide down like a chute, funneling every rebellious individual, no matter where he or she was to be found, to the greater whole. The obvious question is, what difference does it make whether there was one hole that swallowed everyone up, or there was one hole that served as a vacuum, sucking forth each and every individual who was part of the rebellion, albeit to be found afar? Perhaps the answer is that this refers to the notion of a slippery slope. You know, sometimes in life, we err. Sometimes inadvertently, sometimes purposefully, unfortunately, b'mezid. And when we do, there's a huge gaping hole that we should realize is in front of us, ready to swallow us up into that abyss from which it's so difficult, if at all possible, to extricate ourselves. And at other times in life, we're near that larger hole, but we separate ourselves. But even though we've separated ourselves, that hole leaves a great impact upon us. That nearness to the sin that occurred in full or in part reaches out to us during the course of our lives with its tentacles, pulling us forth every so often, inching us closer to the hole itself, whether we realize it or not. This is the notion of a slippery slope. That at times we don't jump into that cavernous, gaping hole, gaping abyss of error and sin, but we're influenced by it. We're tainted by it. And even though we consider ourselves far away from it, much deeper into the camp of acceptability and no longer standing by its mouth, but the slippery slope pulls us like a vacuum, like a magnet, ultimately back to the hole itself. Approximately 40 days from Rosh Hashanah, as we begin our process of introspection, we need not fool ourselves into always believing and imagining that unless there's a huge hole that we've jumped into, then we're pretty much okay. No. We have to ask ourselves, have we effectively been present at such a place? And even though we removed ourselves far beyond that dangerous porthole of sin, maybe, just maybe, there are still scales of that sin or that endeavor or that pull that are to be found upon us. And they can serve as magnets, pulling us back down the road that we wish not travel. Bekerev haaretz is a place that we need be concerned with as well. Have a wonderful Shabbos. And let me be the first to wish everyone a good gebencht yor and a ksiva chasima tova to all.